Wild. All new Dr. Phil today.
He allegedly stole a car.
He stole 2 cars, led police on a high-speed chase, snuck aboard 2 separate airplanes traveling halfway around the country. And the most amazing part, he's only 9 years old.
How did you learn to drive?
By the arcade game.
Oh, boy. Did anybody say you're awfully short to be flying by yourself?
Plus,
You said, please, will you help me save my little girl's life?
a mother who found her 16-year-old runaway on Craigslist, working as a prostitute.
I'm going to end up burying my daughter.
But there's 2 sides to every story.
I'm going to get involved here. Don't con me.
Dr. Phil steps in to help a teen in trouble.
That may be what you did yesterday. It's not what you have to do today. Coming up. Let's do it. I want you to get excited about your life.
Here we go.
Stand by, camera 6. If you're going to talk to me, you're going to have to be honest.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
Showtime. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Stand by, A, and roll A. Check in. Go, Dr. Phil.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you. Now, all right, imagine this. You wake up at dawn to discover your 9-year-old child missing. His bedroom and closet doors are wide open. You search everywhere, finally calling the police. For 24 hours, you, of course, are absolutely panic-stricken. The next day, the police call saying they have found your son alive, but halfway across the country. 9 years old, and he's in the San Antonio airport. You live in the state of Washington. And it doesn't end there. Just the day before, this 9-year-old had stolen a car and led the police on a high-speed chase. And it's the 3rd time he's stolen a car, and the 9th time he's run away in the past 5 weeks. Take a look.
He allegedly stole a car, led police on a high-speed chase.
Speeds were about 80 to 90.
A 9-year-old boy is in big trouble after he snuck on 2 airplanes. Police say
His motivation is to get to Dallas.
Samaji sits before a judge in Pierce County's juvenile court.
My 9-year-old son, Samaje, has run away from home 9 times in the past 5 weeks.
I took the bus to the airport. When I got to security, there was an announcement for a passenger to get his boarding pass. I went up and said that I was that guy. I flew to Phoenix, then I flew to San Antonio.
The boy supposedly ran away to be with his grandfather in Texas.
I miss my home.
The first time he ran away from home, I woke up in the middle of the night. A man brought him home. The first time he stole a car, he wanted to sit in there and get warm, and then he got the idea in his head, well, I want to drive.
I learned to drive by playing arcade games.
The police brought him back because he had crashed the car. The second time is when he found out about his friend that got shot in Seattle. He saw the car running at the mall, and the only way that they found him is because he ran out of gas. My greatest fear was that Samaje was never going to come home again.
I ran away because I didn't like where I was living.
There were kids that shot him with paintball guns, and those things really hurt. So Samaje just exploded. He was like a ticking time bomb. The 3rd time he stole a car was from the neighbors. It was left running.
He tried to steal 2 cars this past weekend.
He was eluding the police.
It was scary when the police was chasing me. I thought I was going to go to jail.
They had him on a high-speed chase.
They tried to put the spikes on the ground.
They did deploy stop sticks at one point, but he drove around them.
So I went faster.
He crashed the car.
Samaji is facing some very adult legal proceedings.
I feel bad about everything.
This has drained me completely. I've almost had 2 nervous breakdowns. My fears with him going into juvenile detention is not getting anything good out of it. I feel as if it's going to make it worse. He watches Dr. Phil. So he's like, Dad, that guy's cool, Mom. I feel as if Dr. Phil can just help our whole family.
Well, you need some help.
Yes, I
right?
do.
He's a handful.
Yes.
He's obviously really intelligent.
Very.
I mean, he's 9. He's stolen 3 cars and made it halfway across the country.
Yes.
So he's resourceful. So you've got to have mixed emotions about that.
Very.
You got to be impressed at his resourcefulness, but yet shocked and scared to death by what he's done.
Yes.
You say he was 5 and you got pregnant with his little brother.
Right.
And at that point, what happened?
He saw his other brother and like, the intention's not on me anymore. Mom, I have to share this with my little brother, and it just started going bad from there. So I'm not listening, fighting with his siblings.
Where is his father in this mix?
We don't know.
So he's just disappeared?
Basically.
Okay, so it's you,
Just me.
a single mom with 4 children.
Yes.
Okay, and this one, he's getting your attention now. What about the 9/11 calls?
He'll just call, let it say, let it be on, because you don't have to, if you call and you hang up, they call right back.
Yeah.
And then he'll just hang up and keep hanging up every time they call back.
So they called you at work, and you wound up getting fired.
Yes.
Because you had to come home 3-4 times, because he
Yes.
just kept doing this over and over.
Yes.
What did he say about that?
So my dad doesn't say anything. He just says he was upset, he was mad, and he apologized.
Okay. What's his attitude now? He's concerned about you some.
Yeah, because I've been kind of stressed out,
Yeah.
considering the fact.
So, and he says that that some people are saying that you're stupid and not a good mother, and so he's upset about that.
Yeah, I had a man said that I sucked and didn't know that I was the woman that he was the parent that he was talking about, and he felt so bad. He said, I apologize. I said, well, that's just how people are thinking right now.
Yeah, but that bothered him.
A lot.
Okay, well, that's the good thing, actually. I mean, that can be, it shows a couple of things. Number one, that he's got a capacity for empathy here, that he's actually like putting himself in somebody else's position to think about the consequence of what he's doing, that it does impact other people, that it impacts the family. Are you concerned that he's going to continue doing this?
I don't think he will do it anymore, the running away, because of how serious it was and how it hurt the whole family. We're on Dr. Phil.
Yeah, yeah. What could be worse than that? I'm starting to understand this child now.
No, I love you, Dr. Phil, because that's why I want counseling. We need it. And Samaje is, at first he wasn't showing that, okay, I did something wrong, I'll never do it again. But when he starts seeing how I'm going to court now, and they might charge me.
What happens if things this kind of goes up, everybody says, all right, calm down, and he just goes back home? You're still in the same apartment. No. Do you still have the same person next door, or have you gotten out of that environment?
Right now, we don't really have anywhere to live. We've been living in a motel for the past about a month and a half now.
Mm-hmm. Are you working now?
No, I can't work.
All right, well, let's find out what's going on here. How does a 9-year-old lead police officers on a high-speed car chase and con an entire airline? We're going to meet this young man when we come back.
They had him in the police car, tried to see what type of mother I was, evaluate me. And when they saw that I was an okay person, they said, well, he's in the car right now. I said, well, if you guys would have told me that, I wouldn't have opened the door for you. He's not listening to me anymore. He said he's driving cars and crashing them. I can't do anything about that.
Okay, he has been described as the most persistent, most publicized 9-year-old runaway in the entire Pacific Northwest. Now, Samaje has run away 9 times in just 5 weeks. He may be charged with 3 felonies: stealing a car, attempting to elude a police officer on a high-speed chase, and driving without a valid driver's license. Now, that's quite a rap sheet, especially if you're just 9. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Yeah? What do you say about all of this running away you've been doing?
I don't know.
Yeah? Why did you run away?
Because I didn't like where I was living.
You didn't like where you were living?
Yes.
Okay, what did you not like about it?
People across the street were shooting me with paintball guns.
Okay. Did you tell your mom? Did y'all tell the police about it? Did you ask for help?
I went over there.
You went over there?
I did.
Yeah? And what happened?
They said we didn't do it. It wasn't us. And then it happened again.
Were you scared?
Yes.
So you were trying to run away to get where? Back to your grandfather?
Yes.
Were you worried that you were going to crash a car and hurt yourself?
Yes.
Were you scared while you were doing this?
Yes.
How did you learn to drive?
By the arcade games.
You mean the kind you sit in at the arcade? You sit in them and drive?
Yes.
So you learned to do it that way?
Yes.
Oh, boy. How did you get on the airplane? Where'd you get a boarding pass?
From the Southwest Airlines counter.
You just went up there and said, I need a boarding pass? I mean, how did you get it? They said somebody had lost theirs?
No, they left it on the counter.
So they paged that person and you went up and said, I'm him?
Yes.
Did anybody say, you're awfully short to be flying by yourself?
No.
You lied about your age, right?
Yes.
How did you know to do that?
Did you
There's
tell
no video game for that. The truth is that you're really a good kid, right?
Yes.
I mean, don't you think you're a pretty good kid?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you like to do most?
Play football.
Are you good?
Yes.
Are you fast?
Yes.
Are you tricky?
Yes.
You think?
Can you bust a move if you need to?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And at this point, do you want to run away some more, or do you want to be home?
I want to be home.
What are you going to do if something happens that you get frustrated again?
I'll talk about it.
If you had somebody to talk to, you think that would help?
Yes.
Yeah. How you get along with your mom?
Good.
She's a pretty good egg, don't you think? Yeah. How about your brother?
Yes.
You get along with Demarius here?
Not that much.
Not that much? Yeah. So, Demarius, what do you think about this little brother of yours? Were you worried when he ran away?
Yes.
Yeah. Were you glad he came home?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So y'all don't get along all that well because you're brothers, right?
Yes.
Do you argue?
Yes.
Do you fight?
Yes.
Are you tougher than him?
Kinda.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, is he tougher than you? Yeah. Y'all gonna work this out after the show, aren't you? I can see this already. Well, look, Mark Hobbins is Senior Vice President of the Aspen Education Group, and you have helped us with a number of families and situations that we've worked with over the years, and the Aspen Education Group is top-notch. They work nationwide. We think that this youngster would benefit from some counseling. Tell me how Aspen gets involved in that sort of thing.
Well, I think Aspen wants to provide Sakina some family counseling. You wanted help. You stated you want some help, and we can provide that. We can provide a therapist that could come into your home and work with you and your family to help you, support you, give you the skills and tools that you need to better manage, the situations that you find yourself in. There's an opportunity that Aspen can provide Samaje in a thorough assessment and evaluation. We can do that and then provide him, depending on his qualifications, we can provide him a therapeutic setting where he can spend some time learning that might give him some added insight, some capabilities to maybe reason better, to keep himself safe, and to structure this sort of ingenious resourcefulness into more healthy and productive ways.
Here's the thing, and there's several things that I want to understand, that I want us all to understand. Number one, you are not a bad kid in any stretch of the imagination, and I want you to understand that. Now, you've made some really dumb choices. Okay, it wasn't smart to do some of the things that you did because you could get hurt. But we know you're smart, and we know you're a good kid, and we know you have a good personality. We know that you can obviously get anybody to believe anything, so I'm having to try not to look right into your eyes, So they're going, okay. But we do think that this whole family needs some help at this point. You said it just very clearly. You're a mother taking care of your little chicks here, and you say, we don't even have a home. You are just a hard-working single mother that needs some help.
Exactly.
And so that's why I asked for the best of the best. The best of the best to come here, because we want to start working with you on all this. We want to start helping you get a place to live. We want to start helping getting you some therapeutic involvement for him and for the entire family. We want to get you some child care options so you can get back to work and providing for your family. But you're one of those people that is out there up against the wall. You want to do all the right things. You've always done all the right things, but you just need some help. Well, reinforcements have arrived, okay? Because we are going to help you and we're going to help your family, okay? And I want you to make a deal with me. No more running away. Deal?
Deal.
No more running away. Yes. All right. Okay. Mark, you'll be involved. Next, her 16-year-old daughter ran away, and she was missing for months. You're not going to believe how her mother tracked her down. Turns out the girl was being pimped out as a prostitute on Craigslist. That story next.
My daughter, Tiffany, is a runaway. She's gotten into prostitution. She told her father and her sisters she had been sleeping with about 3 men a day. I'm scared for her life.
Today we're talking about runaway teens. Now, Amy's daughter, Tiffany, has run away several times before, but this time her mother says that she has gotten into a prostitution ring at just 16 years of age. Now, Amy believes the people her daughter are involved with are dangerous and will stop at nothing to get what they want. Amy fears for her daughter's life and the lives of her other children.
I'm very, very concerned about my 16-year-old daughter, Tiffany. My daughter's a runaway. She's been on the street. Tiffany has gotten into prostitution. She hangs around with gang members, pimps, prostitutes, very dangerous people. She's using marijuana, ecstasy, and cocaine. I'm scared for her life. When Tiffany hit about 7th grade, I started seeing a change in her. She wanted to hang out with thuggy, ghetto people. Tiffany is like a chameleon. She is a con artist. She's very manipulative. Tiffany has run away numerous times. First time she was 13, and that's when she was with the first set of pimps. Second time she was 15. The boyfriend that she was with broke her nose, beat her. He could have killed her. The third time she ran away was this most recent one, where I had to face the fact that my daughter was part of a prostitution ring. The police, law enforcement, nobody would help me. But my friend Jessica helped me a lot. We started doing our own investigation, put the word out about my daughter being on the street.
I called Amy and I said, "Are you sitting down?"
My friend got a call saying we needed to check Craigslist. We had no idea.
I've been on Craigslist to buy a washer and dryer, not a prostitute, let alone a kid.
We started checking page by page. There's a lot of girls on there prostituting themselves out.
We found the one that was actually Tiffany.
I matched her cell phone number up with the number that they were wanting to call on.
My daughter's boyfriend called it, and Tiffany answered. He asked her, "How much?" $250. $250. My heart broke for Amy.
I had every emotion there was. I was pissed, hurt, scared. I would stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning trying to find out what kind of ads they're putting up. Tiffany wasn't making them. Somebody was making them for her. I found her pimp and madam's phone number. I called and let them know she was 16 years old and you better give me my daughter back. Tiffany got sick. The people that she was with dropped her off at a hospital. The hospital called me, so I rushed to the hospital. They red-dotted her file, so if her pimp or madam called, they wouldn't be able to find her. While Tiffany was in the hospital, she told her father and her sisters she had been sleeping with about 3 men a day, and her pimp had told her if she didn't come back, he would hurt her. I had to make sure that wasn't going to happen. On the 3rd day she was in the hospital, the staff helped me sneak her out. She was home about 2 days from the hospital. I knew that Tiffany was feeling better and that she was going to be running at any moment. So I made the choice to call the police. The people my daughter Tiffany was hanging around with are extremely dangerous. I fear my family could be killed.
Okay. Now, first off, we're using a different name for you, for the children, everything to protect identities here for safety purposes. And I want everybody at home to know that. I want to talk about what she's gotten involved in a few minutes. But first, I want to talk about the danger and the threat. You believe that she could be in danger of her life, actually. True?
Yes.
And you have seen her with dangerous people on the street. You've seen some of the people that she's
Yes.
hung out with over the years. Tell me about that. Thugs, gang members, what do you...
Tiffany chooses people that when you normally would walk down the street, you'd kind of be scared of them. You'd kind of, drive down the street and kind of lock the door because they're kind of intimidating. And that's kind of what Tiffany's drawn to.
Okay, what have you done along the way to stop that?
I've had her go to family members to try to get her out of the situation so she's in a different place, to try to give her a fresh start. It seems like nothing I do, it helps her. She's still attracted to those people.
Okay, but have you stepped up and dealt with this from the very beginning? Because, see, I have this theory with parents. And first off, we've got to be completely and totally honest about any involvement that you've had, either through your actions or inactions, in leading to where we are now. Right. And, you've seen it, Jessica, you've watched it, and I'm going to get your view on this in a minute. But, see, my theory is parents sometimes don't intervene early and decisively when a child is young, because when they're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's so much easier to fight the fight then, to make the stand then, because as they get older, when they hit puberty and after, they're older, they're bigger, they're smarter, they're more resourceful, and it's just that much tougher for you to fight at that point, right?
Right.
To hold off the onslaught of bad decisions, bad behavior, rebellion, and all of that. And there have been a lot of times that you kind of let some things go when in retrospect you wish you would have drawn a line in the sand then, true?
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
You've seen that.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, it's going to get worse, not better. So if we're going to make a stand, we're going to fight this, we're going to have to do it now.
I agree.
Now, how did Tiffany's life get this far in the ditch? What is it that I'm talking about that she should have done that she hasn't done, or did that she shouldn't have done? This isn't about blaming mom, but it's about recognizing what needs to change if we're going to get a new direction in this young girl's life. We'll be right back. We're talking about Runaways today. It can get wild, it can get scary, it can get out of control. And here's the problem. Children do not have the ability to predict the consequences of their actions, the consequences of their choices. Their brains aren't even through growing yet, and they cannot see around corners. Amy's 16-year-old daughter has been used as a prostitute, pimped out on a website called Craigslist. It's unimaginable for a parent to think of the life their child would be living as a prostitute, but that's what you're having to get your mind around at this point, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you know about this? She told her sister in the hospital that she was with how many men a day?
She had said that she was with about 3 men a day. And
she's 16?
She's 16.
Okay. Who are these people that you say, you found this on Craigslist, right?
Yes. I had put the word out on the street that Tiffany was a runaway, and my daughter called to me and said, "Mom, I just heard, go on Craigslist, and you click on erotic." I called Amy, and I told her, sit down, get it on your computer, and Tiffany's on.
Did you have any idea she was doing this?
I had an idea, only because of what she had done in the past, and I just had a gut feeling something just, it wasn't right. It wasn't right how she was acting, and the people she was with, it just didn't add up.
And you can call her cell phone, and she answers. You had someone call the cell phone.
Yes. He called, and Tiffany answered, and he asked her how much. And she asked, well, is it an in call or an out call? And he didn't know what that meant, so he says, let me call you back. So he calls back, in calls, you come to them, out call, they go to you. So she'll travel. And he asked her how much. She said $250.
Do you believe that if this continues, that she is going to be at risk in her life?
I think if this continues, I think I'm going to end up burying my daughter.
And you get that?
I know that.
And do you realize that at this point you may be in over your head?
I believe that I'm over my head, but I'm not going to stop trying to help her.
You knew where she was staying. Why didn't you go get her?
I tried. I tried to go get her, and she was... With Tiffany, she'd run away, and she'd make it so hard for you to get her back. But she would call me to let me know she was okay, so I wouldn't kind of freak out.
But I guess what I'm saying here is, you know, when I've gone through here, she was hanging out with thuggish boys in 2004.
Yes.
And you didn't just throw down the hoe handle and just make a fight of it right then, right there.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Well, you didn't punish her. She didn't get into counseling. That's what you told us.
We tried to go to counseling, and she refused to go.
Okay, but see, that's not her option. That's not her option. And the reason I'm making this point is there have been things along the way, even things that she says to you. I hate you. I wish you were dead. And it's just, you just kind of let some of those things go by because you don't want to make trouble.
I don't want her to run.
Yeah, but you can't be held hostage to that sort of thing. If we're going to save this girl's life, she's going to have to lose the ability to make bad decisions. And that means you're going to have to cross the line where you say, I don't care whether she likes me or she doesn't. I don't care whether she loves me or she doesn't. My job is not to be loved by my daughter. My job is to get her to adulthood alive and intact. That means I got to take her out of the game, remove her freedom, then that's what I have got to be prepared to do. If you don't, she could get a life-threatening disease. She could get her throat cut. I mean, somebody can pick her up and cut her throat for $20.
I know.
And you say, well, but I didn't want her to not like me. I don't care. You have to decide, I'm willing to play hardball here. And you've got other children that are watching this. Did you tell your other daughter not to say anything to me if I talked to her that would paint you in a bad light?
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I told her I wanted her to be honest with you.
No, you didn't.
No, I did. That I did. I told her I did want her to be honest with you.
We must have missed that. But what my staff heard you say is, don't you tell him everything. Don't you tell him anything that'll paint me in a bad light, and don't you tell him everything that's going on.
I disagree.
Help me out here. I can't help him if we're not honest.
Go ahead.
You did tell her not to make you look bad.
Well, this is what happened. She was upset because she couldn't be out here. And so she was going to say, I'm going to tell him that you won't let me have a boyfriend, and you're being mean to me. And I'm like, just be honest about what
That's music to my ears. Are you kidding me? She's telling me that you're telling her no, no, and no. Are you kidding? But my point is, if we're going to do this, I don't play games.
Right.
If I'm going to get involved here, don't con me.
I don't want to.
Don't go behind me. Really, don't do that to me. Don't go behind me and tell somebody. I've got your letter that you wrote to me here. You said, please, will you help me save my little girl's life? If I don't get help, I fear she will really get hurt and maybe get killed. Please, please help her. She just turned 16. She is worth saving. This is my last hope. Did I read that right? Don't blow it. Don't blow it. You're going to have to take a hard look at yourself here. And we're going to have to do some things with her that she is going to hate you for. Do you get that?
I get it. I know that.
But would you rather her hate you and be alive to do it?
Absolutely.
All right. Two of Tiffany's younger sisters just idolize her. Amy fears that they're going to model her, that they're going to end up like their runaway sister. I am going to talk to them next, but I didn't want to do it out here because of their age and because of the situation, and again, because of security reasons. So I'm going to go back and sit down with them when we come back. Hey, girls.
Hi.
How are you? April, how you doing?
Good.
And you're Rebecca today, right? Okay, I know those aren't your real names, but that's what we're calling you today. You know that your sister is in a lot of trouble, right?
Yes.
And do you know why? Tell me what you understand about that.
Her prostitution.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
She's stupid for it. Like, I don't know why she's doing that to herself.
Yeah. Do you know what's going on here with your sister?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think about it?
I think it's just like really wrong and stuff. And it's wrong for her and it's wrong for them to be doing that to kids, to girls, you know? So.
And do you know that they can get, that this can get really dangerous and they can get really, really hurt in this regard? Okay, and so you know this is not good. I know that you love your sister, and I know you look up to her and you know, think she is delightful in many ways, and I know she is, and she's not a bad person. She's just made some really bad decisions, and we're going to have to help her with that. And it may mean that she's going to have to be taken out of the home for a while. Would you be okay with that?
Yes, I just want her to be safe. I don't want her to get hurt.
Yeah, and you know that that could happen.
Yes.
And so that's what we're wanting to stop.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you, if you would, to step out for a second so I can talk to your sister, because you're still just a little kid.
Yeah.
So I have a couple other questions I want to ask, okay? Do you know why I asked her to leave?
Kind of.
Oh, I'm going to ask you about some of your behavior.
Yeah.
Now, do you know why I asked her to leave? Why?
Because I made wrong choices.
And what are those wrong choices? I know, I just want to hear you say it.
Looking up to my sister.
Well, there's more to it than that. I mean, let's be honest here. I'm here to help you, and I'm here to help your family. How old are you?
14.
You think that's too young to be doing some of the things you're doing? What are you doing? Be honest.
I've tried stuff I shouldn't have.
Like?
Marijuana.
You got a boyfriend? Have you been sexually active with your boyfriend?
Once.
And you're 14. Okay. Now, do you get that even though it may seem like a good idea at the time, that behavior is going to lead you in a bad, bad place?
Yes.
I mean, having sex at 14, messing with marijuana, where do you think that's headed? Where do you think that's going to end up?
Nowhere.
So, listen, you are a beautiful young woman. You're intelligent. You've got your life going for you. I've got your 16-year-old sister who's on the street. Her life is in jeopardy. So I say, okay, what's coming behind her? And here I see you at 14 already involved in these two behaviors. Where are you going to be when you're 16? I want this to stop. I want you to say, I value myself more than that. I want you to say, I realize that this just maybe seemed like a good idea at the time, but I'm worth more than that. I'm not going to put myself there where I can get a sexually transmitted disease, or I can wind up pregnant at 14, and at 15 years old you got a kid strapped to your leg and you can't go to school and you have no career and you have no future. And I want to help your family. Will you help me help you guys? Because this is going to involve some counseling and some therapy and that sort of thing. Will you participate?
Yes.
And because you got a little sister looking at you.
I know.
And you owe it to her to do good. Can I count on you? Tell me what you're thinking and feeling right now.
That I let some people down, like my mom, my little sister.
You've let yourself down too, haven't you? And look, here's the thing. The good thing about behaviors, now follow me here, the good thing about behaviors is when you stop doing them, they're over. That may be what you did yesterday, It's not what you have to do today. And so the minute you resolve, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm worth more than that. I'm a role model, and I have a commitment to myself. Once you make that decision, then that's over, and it's a new day. And I'm going to help you with that. So coming up, what's next for Amy's family? Tiffany right now is in a court-ordered facility, which is pretty much kind of warehousing her. When she gets out of there, she's going to go right back to the same environment, the same circumstance, the same behaviors, or are we going to provide something that gives her a running start on a second chance? We're going to talk about all that when we come back. Obviously, it's every parent's nightmare to think of their child running away and living on the streets, but it's unimaginable to find out that your beautiful, sweet 16-year-old daughter is not only a runaway, but that she's being prostituted on a website like Craigslist. Now, by the way, we've made attempts to contact Craigslist. They've not returned our calls. You notice that I chose my words carefully when I said she is being prostituted. I didn't say she's a prostitute, because at 16 years of age, she's being used, she's being exploited, she's being abused. I think it's important that we keep that in mind and try to get this thing turned around. You have two beautiful younger daughters.
Thank you.
You heard me talking to your 14-year-old. Did you hear her say that she was sexually active and using marijuana?
Yeah.
That got through?
Yeah, I heard that.
Did you know that?
Yeah,
did you know that before?
Yeah, I just had found out about that not too long ago.
What did you do about when you found out about it?
Well, I moved to another area, if that helps.
It does help. What else did you do?
I talked to her, and I told her that I didn't want her to be like her sister, to do the things that her sister did, and I was scared. And she was better than that. And I was scared. I can't.
You don't really know what to do you?
No.
I mean, that's the point, and that's why you're here.
Mm-hmm.
You need some help. She's in this court-ordered facility right now. When she gets out of that, she's going to go back to doing right what she's been doing. If you give her the opportunity, she's going to do what she knows how to do.
Yeah.
And Mark, we need the Aspen Education Group again. We can't put this girl back in the same environment. She's going to go right back to doing what she's doing. We need to take her out of the game and put her in a healthy, constructive, therapeutic environment like your organization. This isn't about blame, but this is a family situation. This isn't just about your 16-year-old. This is about you. It's about her. It's about her little sisters. And that's why I've asked Mark and his group to help us with this.
Thank you.
Will you do this?
Yes.
So your daughter's not going to be coming home. She's going to be going to a therapeutic environment where she's safe and can learn to value herself again. We'll be right back. Look, being a parent in this day and time is tough. I mean, think about it. When I was growing up, when I was a teenager, I mean, there were 3 TV channels and we had a phone on the wall in the kitchen. And if you want to talk to your girlfriend, you got under the table and talked to them and threatened to kill your sisters for listening in. Now there's 500 TV channels, the internet, drug pushers, hookers, everybody coming right into your child's laptop, right into their computer. The smorgasbord of temptation is way beyond anything we have ever dealt with, all of us, in the generation in which we grew up. If you are a family at home that has children being bombarded in this way that you're afraid of, I want to hear from you. Write to me. Let me know what your challenges and stories are, because we do want to help. And I want to give you parents a wake-up call. Know what your child is doing. Know where they're going on the websites. Know what they're watching on television. Get involved, because it doesn't just happen in back alleys and on street corners anymore. It's coming right into your home. I want to thank all of my guests today, especially Mark. Thank you so much. Mark is Senior Vice President of the Aspen Education Group, and Mark is also president of FamilyIQ.com, which is a leading website to help parents improve their parenting skills and strengthen their family. Mark is offering everyone in the audience today a free subscription to FamilyIQ.com. Okay? For more information on today's show, go to drphil.com. You'll have a list of questions there so you can find out what you really want to know about your teens. So thanks for being here. So long.